Yo, I didn't think I was going to be talking about the qualifiers anymore, but I think this is kind of at least important to talk about. If you remember how I talked about the qualifiers for the other TPC tours, how they're doing this little ladder tour thing, well, that isn't just like Taiwan, Indonesia. It's not just those regions, right? We're also having that for Japan and Korea. And if you didn't know, both of those are underway currently right now. With Korea, it's being talked about by Meluka here, and Japan being talked about by Kakunaka. And notably, there is a couple issues with how they're currently doing the qualification system. One is a friendly competition, which is stinky in itself, right? It's not very great to have a friendly competition like this qualify yourself for a world invite. And this is something we already talked about when we were talking about the other tournament before. But it's a little bit worse now. Because, like, they'd use the the global challenges we had to set the qualifications for these events, right? And now from this event, you have to play this endless amount of games, which you could probably self DC, but since there's no like way to stop, it is intending you to play 20 consecutive games. And if you're playing 20 consecutive games, there's not going to be enough people on at the specific time slot, especially if you have 450 players who are overall competing. So essentially what this means is, with Kakunaka, as you said here, you're just facing a lot of the same opponents in a row. And then with the qualifications, only 64 out of 450 players get qualified. Which, I'll be honest, the qualification numbers, considering the event, not bad. Not bad at all. But that said, it's like not really something you would want for a competitive circuit, and not really something of particularly great value, right? Because it's both national and world qualifications. 64. 64. But yeah, I don't know. I think this was a good thing just to give a little update on. I don't have too much to say that I didn't say in the previous video where we talked about the rest of Southeast Asia, but I just want to get this out there that I'm really just disappointed in how TBC is handling these circuits. I think it's like this kind of embarrassing and sad for these competitive scenes to have this keep happening. And the fact that it's even bad for Japan as well, and it's bad for the Korean version of the Trainer Cup, it's kind of crazy because like the other kind of like smaller regions, right? I'll be honest, I kind of expected TBC to be kind of bad with this. But for like Japan, for Korea, the two biggest regions in that eastern area, I did not expect TPC to do both of those regions as bad as they have. And well, that's exactly what they did. But yeah, that's really all to talk about today. This is very disappointed in TBC and how they're handling the Japan and Korea circuits. Hopefully it isn't it will get better, and maybe there's some like maybe I'm overestimating the problem, but overall this hearing from Kakunaka, hearing about this from Meluka, hearing about this from other Japanese players, this doesn't seem like a good system. And especially as someone from the West, where we all have best of 3 events, we have day 2 now and regionals, we have these long international events. Like, sure, there's a different problem with that where it overvalues this going to a lot of events than necessarily performing at like one regional or performing at one international night you go to. But I'd rather have that than the problem that Japan and Korea are having, even if the Japan-Korea circuit are technically more beneficial to a person like me who does not have the ability to travel as much as is required for the US circuit. But even with that thought process, I still just don't think the system with Japan or with Korea, with any of like Southeast Asia, is particularly good, and I really hope TBC will actually make an effort to fix it, but I kind of doubt they will. I kind of doubt it. But yeah, later.